Who was there? Nobody. Who believed you? Nobody.
And that's hard to ask for help too.
When you've been abandoned like that. And see, the word abandoned sounds, like huge. Like, well, I wasn't abandoned. My parents were in the other room and blah. No, but that's an emotional abandon. When you're little, it feels that way. And you kids that are listening, teens that are listening, this is why people don't understand you. Because you're asking for help. You want your parents there, and they don't understand that. They're like, well, I'm right here. I'm in the other room. You don't understand. Emotionally, I need you connected with me. Because we do a lot of emotional disconnect. And that brings a low self-esteem. What do you think of that, Maria?
I completely agree with you. Talking to these kids, I think, we've been able, especially with the kids at Grainer, they've been able to open up about a lot of the things that they're going through. And sometimes and sometimes our advice is, talk to your mom, talk to your dad. And first thing they'll say, it's like, oh, I cannot talk to them. They will never understand. I think I've always hear, responses that I see clear in my mind right now is because they don't understand. It's because they're always too busy. Those are the two responses that we get from these kids. And if these kids are going through things and they don't have that trust to go to a parent, it makes it even more difficult because they get stuck.
Yes,
they get stuck in that feeling, and that feeling will never go away.
There it is.
Even as a grown-up, and I'm going to say that even as a grown-up because, I usually don't talk about myself, but, I can say I was abandoned, and I was abandoned with my grandparents who loved me, but it was my mom and my dad that had to leave me behind for, whatever reasons they were. But it's true, even as a grown-up, sometimes it's difficult for me to ask for help. Or sometimes even as a grown-up, it's hard for me to have a connection with my mother and to be able to talk to her or, let her know what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling.
Right, and you said, now, not to take away from your grandparents because they were there.
Yes, and I love
But I like what you said. You said, I was abandoned with my grandparents.
Yes.
See, your language told you that, and it's like, I was abandoned. But see, here's what happens with the adults. Us adults, we protect. We become protectors. We'll turn around and we'll say, boy, things are so bad nowadays. When I was young, we were able to go and do this, and everything was hunky-dory. It really wasn't. I remember because I'm still in that, it's like I've been stuck in time doing this job in the same areas. I go to the same schools that I went to, and they're better now, actually, the schools. Because when I was going to school, they were dangerous. I've talked about that before.
Yes, you have.
So your mind protects you. So it protects your parents. It protects you. So the reality is that when you were little, that's what it felt like. It felt abandoned. Even though Grandma and Grandpa were the best.
Yes.
But where were my parents?
Exactly.
And that's the abandonment that creates it. So, and you said it. That's why I have a hard time asking for help. That's why I have a hard time, letting people in your world. Trust is a big problem.
Yes.
That's a low self-esteem. Now, okay, so when I said low self-esteem, doesn't mean that Miss Maria has a low self-esteem all the time, but it is there.
Yes, it is. It has to be. And I think that's one of the things that I'm always very open, especially with the kids, things that you're going through, like I feel it too. My self-esteem is not the best self-esteem. I work hard, on a daily basis to gain that self-esteem, to feel confident, to know that what I'm doing is right. Because a lot of times I wonder to myself, am I doing a good job as a mom? Am I doing a good job as part of my job? Am I a good employee? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Is this how I'm supposed to do things? I second question myself all the time.
Which becomes stressful. And by the way, kids, it creates an anxiety. And adults, it creates an anxiety. That's where the anxiety comes in. A lot of kids ask me, about anxiety. Well, it comes from that. It comes from not being able to tell people how you feel, what you want. And it's difficult because you don't trust yourself. So how do you fix it? So let's explore a little bit more on the abandonment. What did you think, Cindy? Because I thought it was profound with the way Maria broke it down.
Well, because the spectrum is yes. Big here, but this is going to sound very, very harsh. But people will always let you down, and what I mean by that is that
Yes.
People, even the people that you love, they may mean well, but they will disappoint you. So you have to have enough strength and confidence to do what you need to do for yourself, to feed yourself, to honor yourself. Sometimes they don't even know they're hurting you.
Right.
And, you know, so then you start keeping your own secrets about things you're ashamed of because you don't feel like you have a safe person to confide that in. Whether it's your mother, your, you know, boyfriend, your spouse, your children, because, you know, if you have a past or, you know, whatever that might be, you're afraid of that judgment.
Right.
And so you walk on your own. But people will disappoint you. It's just going to happen. And that's not to say that you can't have wonderful, loving, healthy relationships.
Right.
Very true.
But just know that you're not always going to be 100% in sync.
Yes. And you have to learn how to establish those boundaries. And that
Yes.
what you just said was absolutely true. And it's a harsh reality that people will let you down. Your parents will let you down. You will let yourself down. But what happens with...
Absolutely. Yes.
And the reason that it's real hard for people who have a low self-esteem is because it's an all or nothing thinking. You know, I'm going to lose everything. You know, they're not going to like me. They're not going to want me. And it's a really bad place to be. So learning to get out of that is one is establishing boundaries. One is learning that people will let you down. People will let me down. If you meet somebody for the first time, don't let it be the best person you ever met. Let it be, hey, I'm getting to know this person. They might be a good person to hang out with later. I don't know. Sometimes we want to own
Good
people.
first impression, yeah.
Sometimes we want to own people. Put those boundaries up because, you know, we will let ourselves down. And here's another thing that people with low self-esteem do. They will knock you down quickly. If you let them down, they will abandon you.
Sure.
You will set a wall. You'll cut people off. And it makes it very difficult. That's why the struggle of being liked is so important, because you really know, well, I don't want to cut you off. I want you in my life, but you know what? You let me down, I won't trust anybody.
But I do have to say, and I know this isn't all about self-esteem, but a healthy relationship is about finding a person and how they make you feel.
Yes.
How does that person make you feel? If they make you feel bad about yourself, but at least they're there for you, like on your arm, that's not a healthy relationship. You need to be with somebody who makes you feel good about yourself. When I'm with this person, I feel good. I feel strong. This person encourages me. She's, you know, she or he has shown that they can earn my trust and have my trust and have my back.
Who encourages you, you know, to continue on pursuing those things that you want to be able to accomplish. You know, I came through, you know, Destiny and I, we have a really great relationship. And so, you know, sometimes she shares stories about her friends. And I remember when she was, you know, getting ready to graduate high school, and her, you know, she's deciding, you know, what college am I going to? And so her friends are deciding too. I mean, Destiny herself was disappointed in some of her friends when she found out that her friends decided not to pursue a career, not to pursue college, because they didn't want to leave the boyfriend behind.
Right.
You know, which was very not going anywhere.
Exactly, which was very disappointing and very sad, because I was like, oh my goodness, you know, if their parents had a better conversation with these girls, you know, they'd be more concerned about what they want for themselves and not what the boyfriend wants for them, because it's not about the people around you, it's about yourself. You've got to take care about yourself first, and pursue your dreams and pursue those goals that you want to be able to accomplish, so that you are ready to continue on to a next level and starting a relationship with someone.
And if that person really is into you, that person really wants to be there for you, they'll wait.
Yes, and they'll encourage you. Yes,
they will
go
wait.
to school.
Yes.
I'll wait for you here.
Yes. Now, sometimes it's not the person's fault. Sometimes the person is encouraging, but that person, that self-esteem is, and you know, that abandonment is so deep that they're like, I'll just sacrifice everything, you know.
Yes.
And that's not really a fair thing for that person, because then what happens is they get resentful.
Yes.
they will turn around 7 years later after they're married and say, "You did this to me."
Some of you will not.
You did this
let
to me.
Other people compliment you. Some of you will not let other people apologize to you because
Yes.
you're just too stuck and caught up in your pride, and that person is trying to be there for you.
Yes.
So you have to do, life should be a lot of self-reflection, self-reflection, and then looking deep into the other person as well. Why is that person angry? Are they really angry because of, you forgot to put the milk back in the fridge? Or is that person angry because something's going on with them?
Yes.
Being able to move forward from those things too, not allowing it to pull you back and be more concerned with, what is he thinking? What is she thinking? Why did they say these things? It's about being able for you to move always forward and never backwards.
People should accept you as a whole.
Yes.
You complete you. One of the things that I find in treatment is that, I like working in treatment because I work with people with addictions, not addicts. Police officers work with addicts. That's why they're skewed. I work with people who want to change. I work with people who are not in their addiction and they're in their rational minds. They're wonderful people. In their addiction, they're probably horrible, but I see them in their rational mind. And what happens a lot of times is that once they're in that state, now they're able to move forward. The problem is that if they have those abandonment issues, the self-esteem is still down here. And you've got to be able to move forward. And you said it, you got to be able to move forward out of there. But how do you do that when it's so deep-rooted? And one is realizing that people will let you down. You may even make mistakes. It's okay.
We're human.
Yeah, we're human. You can make mistakes.
I make mistakes.
Yes. And, you really have got to, especially kids, especially now that if mom wasn't available, dad's not available, people weren't available to you, find the people that are available. Talk to the people that are available. Forgive yourself for feeling the way you felt. I say that to the adults, but it's so hard because, they've got all these blocks in their mind, the mental blocks, and it's real hard to get through them. But once they figure it out, it's amazing because now they're ready for their recovery. Those of you that live with somebody who's in recovery and you're having a hard time, they're having a hard time because now they have to feel. For the first time, they have to feel what it's like to feel a loss. When they could always just escape and go somewhere with their drugs and they don't have to feel the loss.
Right.
So, it's a good topic. I like this topic of self-esteem, and there is solutions. I think that the solution to self-esteem is challenging yourself every day to do something new, step outside the box.
There's great TED Talks on YouTube on self-esteem and self-confidence. They say one of the best things you can do is set goals, small goals, big goals, and achieve those goals.
And those give you the ability to regain the confidence.
Absolutely. How many times have I started a diet and failed on day 2? I'm not helping my confidence or my self-esteem when I do that. So it's just try again. Keep trying. And
not giving up. And not giving up on that that you're having such a difficult time, accomplishing, because it's part of being human, and sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes more than 1 try, 2 tries, 3 tries. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't give up on you.
Yes.
You don't give up on who you are and what you want to accomplish.
You gotta want it. You gotta realize that you gotta be a whole person, and people have got to accept you as a whole. There's things that we can change. There's always room for change, but don't change good qualities or give yourself an opportunity in a relationship to be yourself. If somebody says, look, that's a goofy shirt you have on, or look at that silly, if you like it, you like it. So what? But a lot of people will lose who they are. Don't lose who you are. If you're with somebody who's positive, somebody who is an encourager, bad habits will improve. because you naturally you want to